The king of Islam, in Islam at that time, tells a very well-known poet to compose poetry. Poetry was a very effective means in public communication to formulate public opinion. He tells a poet to use his poetic talent against his opponent, Imam Ali, and his side. And who does this poet turn out to be? A person by the name of Al-Akhtal. Now, many people who haven't read Arabic literature or haven't heard the name before, probably not familiar. There were three major poets in this time frame when Muawiyah became king: Al-Jarir, Farazdaq, and Al-Akhtal. Muawiyah turns to Al-Akhtal, and Al-Akhtal happens to be a Christian. He's not even a Muslim. And he tells him to put together all this poetry against his opponents. You would think that people who don't belong to the rest of the masses would be very cautious. But somehow there's some guarantees here. And we still have that right now. We still have among us Christians who will do the speaking for the powers that be, even if that means going against the Islamic public opinion. So if we had it then, about 1,300 years ago, and if our minds have not taken an analytical, a sharp and penetrating look at this culture around the rulers, then how are we going to free ourselves from the condition that we are in today? So Muawiyah and his camp made a big deal about twisting the ayah, وَمَنْ قُتِلَ فَقَدْ جَعَلْنَا لِوَلِيِّهِ سُلْطَانًا. And they wanted the perpetrators, the culprits, the murderers of Uthman. And they used the incident of Al-Jamal. And they fought the war of Siffin. And now they gained the power. Why is it now when they had the power they did not go after these murderers for which they had launched this Islamic civil war throughout all of those years? None of it. Now, their primary concern was their adversaries, their opponents, the Islamic opposition within Muslim society. That became their obsession. They targeted anyone who disagreed with them. Compare that with what Al-Imam Ali used to do. Those who became known as Al-Khawarij, and we looked at some of their development. They used to come and pray in the masjid with him. They had all of their rights guaranteed. Their testimony was accepted in Islamic courts of law. They had their full civil status preserved. There was no one trailing them, no one spying on them, no one taking away from them privileges, no one freezing their salary from Bayt al-Mal if they were due any of that. But now, in the time of Muawiyah, the first king in Islam, this has become a fact of life. The state spies the state can kill and get away with it. The state can launch aggressive military campaigns. The state can go to Mecca and kill its opponents around the Haram. The state can even destroy the Kaaba. That's what we began to have. And you come to tell me that this is a khilafah? That's what we have. For those who have a little sensitivity in comparing Muawiyah with Ali, let's compare Muawiyah, and we took a look at the way he treats those who politically disagree with him, withhold their pay, exclude them from the state. It's like treating them like second or third class citizens. And these are sincere, devout, struggling and sacrificing Muslims. Let's compare Muawiyah with Umar. A person who killed Umar's brother comes up to him, and Umar could not tolerate looking in his face. He said, "Why don't you look the other way?" This person said to Umar, "Does that mean that you are going to take away my rights?" And with all the emotionalism inside this person, he said, "No. I can't take away your... I hate..." Well, this wasn't the words that were used, but the body language was that I can't tolerate you because you killed my brother. And even though that's the case, I will not be able to take away a fraction, a scintilla of your own rights as a citizen of an Islamic state and authority. And this Muslim now, who had his full rights, he said, "Well, I have nothing to worry about now." I'm paraphrasing what he said. He said, "There's no lost love between you and me." The Arabic expression for that is إِنَّمَا يَبْكِي عَلَى الْحُبِّ النِّسَاء, which means only women wail when it comes to lost love. It may be considered probably politically incorrect in certain quarters today to express something like that, but we try to tell you what happened. And were there people who were prone to oppress women at that time? Yeah, there were people. Was this official policy of the Islamic State? No.